T to the V to the L to the I to the N to the E, TVLine.
Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check. Let's do this. Sorry. I wanted to try something different. Then I forgot what I was going to say after that. All right. Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check. Let's do this! Your weekly deep dive into all things The Voice and American Idol. I'm TVLine's Michael Slezak. I am here with American Idol Season 6 standout Melinda Doolittle. And this week, we're actually going to start with that show from NBC. Dun, 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 dun. Melinda, how good was The Voice Live Playoffs Season 8?
They have such a great crop of singers that it broke my heart that we were immediately going down to 12. Like, I was like, no, we're not ready yet.
I would have loved for the season to go on through like July or August. Just eliminate one per week, do 3 hours one night a week, whatever. But I know our coaches are not down with that schedule, so what are you gonna do?
Neither am I. 3 hours. Ain't nobody got time for that.
But things I have time for, Kimberly Nicole.
Ooh.
that noise.
I get real high at night, screaming at the top of my lungs, what's going on?
It was Macy's 4th of July fireworks. You're sitting there and things are exploding and it's beautiful and it's symphonic. And then as you come toward the end of the fireworks, they've got the big one.
I do not understand the force of nature that is her voice. I mean, there's something that reaches through the television and grabs you, and then she means every lyric.
This brotherhood of man, for whatever that means.
I accuse Carson of hyperbole, but I think it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it was hands down one of the best performances I've ever seen on reality singing competitions anywhere.
What was that like for you to watch? Perfection.
Thank you for that.
She probably won't win. She'll probably finish 8th.
The amazing singers only go home if they're on Team Adam. That's how it works.
Oh, yes, we'll get to that in a moment. Christina's team, though, India is good. And Rob...
Sometimes he does a little much for me, but for some reason this week, like, he found his groove. India, she pretty much acted out an entire movie for us in 2 minutes.
I'm sorry for blaming you.
What feeling is this that you're bringing out of me with just your voice and your eyes? I can't, oh.
She kind of gets an Emmy nomination for Best Lead Actress in a Drama Series, to me. The nominees are Taraji P. Henson, Viola Davis, Juliana Margulies, and India Carney.
I would tell you how much that I miss you since you went away.
As awesome as Team Christina is, and as much as Kimberly is my number 1, my number 2 and 3 for the week were both from Team Pharrell. I've got to put Mia Z and Sawyer Fredericks at 2 and 3.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. They were wonderful.
And he's always gone too long.
Just her tone in general is so absolutely gorgeous and so controlled for her to be that age.
Anytime he goes away.
She's got a little bit of a lazy delivery sometimes that's so bluesy.
I know.
Oh, she's disgusting in the best possible way. It's like, you sicken me with how good you are.
I know when he's gone.
Mia at her age is insanity. And then Sawyer is like this baby-faced child. And you know how I feel about baby-faced children on reality singing competitions. I don't want any part of it. And yet he comes out in his little hat and his floppy hair, transports me to another space and time. It's like this weird combination. He has this innocent, sweet tone, and yet he conveys all of these adult level emotions.
I've been saved by a woman.
I feel like so many people come to us on these shows. They come into the show learning how to be an artist and coming into their own. And people like Mia Z and Sawyer, they just are.
I said I love her.
Well, since you had the young ones, I'm just going to take the old ones.
Take
That's
the
what
old
I have to do. I'm going to take Joshua Davis because can we even, I don't understand.
My beautiful Castilian. Oh, I'll leave it all.
So Joshua Davis for me. And then we lost my other favorite. We lost Tanya Boyd Cannon.
Thanks, Adam.
I mean, really?
Take me, take me.
That girl, and he kept calling her like the rock of the team.
The number one thing I always try to tell everybody on my team, do what Tanya does.
He like put a bag of rocks around her neck and sent her out into the ocean. What is wrong with him? I think her body of work for the season, and I think her work during the live playoffs made her the absolute must-have third person on that team, and I don't really think it was fair that Brian Johnson got it.
No.
Now come on, you know me too well.
Sorry, Brian. We're not mad at you. It's
Sorry,
all right.
Brian. Yeah, it's not you, it's
Right.
Adam.
It's Adam.
Do what Tanya does.
The one that also annoyed me was I thought Sarah Potenza deserved the third spot on Team Blake
I'm as free as a bird.
over Hannah Kirby.
Okay.
Hannah Kirby was just yelling at me. The days of my being scolded by a woman with her limbs like this ended in about first grade with Sister Mary Claire. I'm done with that. They like to send home the older contestants, but older contestants have done very well on this show.
They win. They
Josh
do win.
Kaufman, Craig Wayne Boyd, they actually win. You also wanted to defend Megan Lindsay to me because I thought love runs out. My love ran out for her. A shredded, garbled gobbledygook of a mess, and I couldn't believe the hype it got.
I don't know how you don't end up in the top 12 after a performance like that.
I could understand their praise of her because of this one thing. When she first started the song, they got the close-up, right? Her nose was running, and I felt bad because I was like, she can't feel it, which means she's really sick. And you know I don't give people excuses
Right.
because everybody gets sick. But she powered through, and all I could think was, oh God, I've been there, and I know what it makes your voice feel like, and I know what happens when you go for notes and you feel like you have a cap and you can't quite get there. For me, I gave her credit for that. So
Yeah. All right.
thank you, Megan.
Fair enough. We need to talk about Idol. The good news is we actually have the right top 7, and it's a great top 7. There's not a single weak link in that bunch. You know, maybe you could rank them 1 to 7, and you might focus on the same people at 6 and 7 or 5, 6 and 7. But even then, I feel like you could ask 100 people and get 100 different answers on how to rank this group.
I really do think we have a great top 7. I completely agree with you. I do feel like in the past 3 weeks, Nick has had a hard time. I love Nick. You know I love Grandpa. But I just feel like if anybody's had consistently not great performances,
I won't be told what's supposed to be right and catch my breath.
but obviously people are voting
Yeah.
because it's not like he's been in the bottom.
He hasn't had that killer performance where everyone says that was the performance of the night. That's the biggest problem that he's facing at this moment. Everybody else has had one of those like boom, boom, pow, water cooler, hoo-ha things. He hasn't. I'm going to do something terrible though. I am going to make you say your top 3 based on this season overall. If you had the power to transport 3 people directly to the final 3 of this season, somebody could fall, somebody could rise, but who are your 3 right this second?
Who I want or who I think will
Who
be?
you want. I think we all know who's going to win this season.
This is my love, and I am breathing in the moment.
We all know who's going to win this season. Who do you want in that top 3?
Clark.
As I look around, I can't believe the love I see.
I'm going to say Clark. Tyanna. Ugh. Can I put Tyanna and Rayvon together and then put Joey at the end? Okay, thank you.
Which one of those falls out, though, when there's actually 3?
Okay, Clark, Joey, Tyanna, Rayvon.
Okay, gotcha. I've got to have Quentin.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I've got to have Joey Jax. And I can't leave Clark out because he's been so incredibly consistent. And intellectually, I understand he belongs in that top 3. But he is still at arm's length for me. He has kept me emotionally just maybe even half an arm's length. Like, we're getting closer, but I can't understand why I'm not quite 100% on the Clark train. To my tastes, I would go Quentin, Jax, and Joey. That's what I would go with.
Okay.
Why is this?
First of all, I feel like he's kind of singing the same song every week.
That's it.
And kind of doing the same thing with the same song most weeks. So I feel like it's that, and it's that he hasn't quite mastered the connection portion of it. His eyes, while gorgeous when they're open, they don't actually compute emotion. You're not seeing the emotion behind it, you're hearing it, and so you feel like I should get involved with this, but when you don't see it, I feel like your brain does a double take.
And the hunger more profound.
Why aren't you mentoring Scott Borchetta and your terrible goatee? Get Melinda Doolittle on the show, for God's sake. I notice that you have Tyanna in your top 3. Her performance of Stay was the best performance of top 8 night. It was.
I want you to stay, please stay.
And she's had other amazing performances. Just because she's had a couple that didn't work out, just because Circle of Life happened, doesn't mean that we have to penalize her for the entire season.
But she had a couple of stinkers leading into Stay.
But baby, you'll see, yeah.
I mean, she had some great weeks, and I feel like because she had a couple in a row that we're forgetting that. But the girl is stellar and energetic, and this process has seemed like it's taken something from her, but I think she might be getting it back.
How Tyanna got her groove back. I mean, she proved also this week she's not just energetic and charismatic, she can be really emotional. I think that was one of the missing links, and I was like, oh my God.
'Cause when you never see the light, it's hard to know which one of us is.
When she started to cry, I got nervous because I know what it does to your voice. And for a minute there, it started to.
Not really sure how to feel about it.
But then she reined it back in, and the control that she had over the tears.
I can't live without you, and it takes me all the way.
And then to make it to the end and then just break down,
I want you to stay.
I'm just gonna say this though. I notice you left Quentin out of your top 3. This is, to me, utter nonsense.
I don't say anything anymore about Quentin because you don't hear me. I saw another A-. You don't hear me. You don't hear me at all when I say anything about Quentin.
I don't.
He makes love to you with his eyes while he sings. And
I'm a married man, you know.
that tuxedo with the hat.
Shoulders.
Somebody tweeted me and said he had Amish pimp realness.
Yes, he did. And it wasn't me who said that. But I wish I had.
You just look so great tonight. You're such a handsome guy, and I love the way you look.
Aren't we willing to forgive 5 bad notes in a performance for someone who...
There were just 5? Sure.
We are never going to see eye to eye on this. I just think a final 3 without Quentin is like a PBJ without the PB&J.
Oh, wow.
He's magic.
It's
like Siegfried and Roy without the white tiger.
What in the world? He's a great artist. I'll give him that.
Got you shackled in my embrace, latching on to you.
And that's what I love about Idol. There's somebody for everybody, so he can be for you.
Last topic on Idol. Melinda, I feel like we both want Joey in our top 3, but something about Wrecking Ball didn't quite...
Let me just say that the verses were stellar. Absolutely stellar.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped,
never asking why.
And then she got to the choruses. It was almost like she couldn't push through. She couldn't belt it out. So I would have rather her held back even more. But she ended up somewhere in the middle where it was like, that's not the best part of your voice.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love.
If you can't go here, then hold it back still.
Just on the chorus.
Just on the chorus, the verses were stellar.
I fell under your spell of love. No one could deny.
It made me sad, but they're going to give her another week. She'll be fine, right?
She will. She'll be fine. I think she's going to be in the final 3.
Better.
Along with like 6 other people.
Along with Quentin.